and who know how to, you know, make real connections, and the men run around like idiots trying to figure out what to do until they see the woman right in front of them, showing them and helping, you know, bring them into the, you know, into raising them. And I've heard, I don't know how many women I've heard, you know, my wife even says, you know, the woman will say, you know, I've got 3 children that I gave birth to, and then I have my husband, you know? And it's that same thing, because they're raising their husbands too. And I feel like my wife's done that to me. So it's the same story over and over. But you know, it can happen at any age. I love to dance. I love to dance. And men and women do.
Well, you're an expert at it, and you know, in the past KCT series, you've been so nice to come out here with Flipped, a movie I loved so much. We showed that. That was a great film, and then Magic of Belle Isle, and some of these other films you've been doing lately. And you did this film relatively independently.
Well, every film I do now. I mean, I was looking around, you know, my office, and I have posters for all the movies I've done, and I realized that there's not one movie that I've made that could be made at a studio today, because they don't make these kind of movies. I mean, even A Few Good Men, which was a, you know, big thing. I mean, but they don't make political courtroom dramas. They make basically 3 types of movies. They make, you know, the Transformers, or the big, you know, superhero action movies. They make animated films, and they make R-rated, you know, raunchy comedies, like, you know, Sex Tape or whatever's coming out. But they don't make, you know, a movie for adults, or a romantic picture, or you know, a drama or a thriller. They just don't make them. So every one of the pictures that isn't in those 3 categories has to go out and get independent financing. So that's what you do, and you just round around and try to put it together that way.
And you're opening this on two 2,500 screens.
I think it's going to be closer to like between 1,500 and 1,800.
15 and 18 in the middle of July, which is like really amazing. But you can tell, I think the audiences are.
Well, I do too. I mean, here's the thing. You know, it's counter programming. I mean, there's some. You know, we showed that there is an audience out there. If you put something in the theater that people, you know, of a certain age want to go see. I mean, we made the joke all the time when we did Bucket List that amongst our core demographic, we had 100% desire to see with a 40% ability to get to the theater. But the truth is, our group, our age, will come to the theater. And they don't always come the first weekend. They come because they like to go to movies. Our generation was raised going to the movies and enjoying a movie, and we didn't have an electronic device in our hands at any time. We actually just watched the movie. So there is, I mean, we're still the largest bulge of the population, you know, the baby boomers. So I think there is an audience, and, you know, we'll find out.
And what a great casting you brought together here. You know, I know people love to work with you. You're great with actors. And so Michael Douglas, you worked with, obviously, in one of your great films you haven't mentioned yet, The American President, with Annette Bening, which was
well, I love working with Michael. I love working with Michael because he's like an ally on the set. You know, here's a guy who's a producer. He knows what goes into making a movie. And I always say, whenever I'm acting in somebody else's movie, you know, I don't ever give them trouble, because whatever they want, because I know the headaches a director has. You know, I don't want to make it a problem. And Michael's that way. He's just the most solid citizen. He's got great craft, and he's gotten better over the years. I mean, you know, look at what he did last year with Liberace. I mean, it was an amazing performance. So he's gotten better and better, and I love him because he's like you know, I've known him since I'm in my 20s, early 20s. We did a movie together, and we're like, you know, we've had these conversations many times. There's like, you can count on one hand the people whose, you know, we both did a television series. He was in Streets of San Francisco. I did Home of Family, whose parents achieved at a very high level, and whose children also succeeded. So it's a small group, and you know, so we have a bond that we have with each other. And neither of us have worked with Diane. We know, you know, I love Diane, and I've seen her, you know, known her for a million years, but I never worked with her. And Michael wanted to work with her, and what a great chemistry. I mean, you never know. You know, you put 2 people together, and then you hope it's going to work. But they hit it off right away, and they have very different acting styles. I mean, Michael, like I say, is very craft oriented. He, you know, gets every little beat right. And she works a lot like I do, which is improvisation. She told me before we started shooting, she said, you know, I don't act. She said, I'm just who I am. And I said, well, whoever you are is pretty good. Because I like who you are. And what she meant was that she doesn't, there's really no division between who she is off camera and on camera. I mean, that's exactly who she is. She takes the words and she makes them her own, and she improvises, and I like working that way.
And sing.